a rate service of any kind. We are not asking for that today. We just want a basic human right to be housed and to be safely housed. Taoiseach Micheál Martin, you plan to spend $3.3 billion on 25,000 new houses in 2021. What about our 5,000 plus houses in Donegal that's falling down with Mica? This current government has turned its back on its supposed precious members of society. Under the current redress scheme, unless an OAP older person has a large, substantial pension fund, the reality for us is to be made homeless. We need 100%. We deserve 100%. We expect 100% redress, no less.
Just in case you think there's no one here from Mayo, we're here to support you 100%. And I'm glad that you're here today, because when John McHugh and I were at the cabinet table, they wouldn't listen to us. But they'll listen today when they see the people from Ireland and from Mayo, from Donegal, all fighting together, and there's only one answer for this. 100% for Donegal, Mayo and the rest of the country. We count in Northern Ireland. They might think in India we don't. Well, we do count in Northern Ireland, and they know Northern Ireland is alive and well today. I will see 100%. Thank you.
In Buchanan and over that few weeks, this campaign has grown legs and taken on an international dimension. We demand that our government, under the precedent they established with February in Leinster, and give Mica families this evening 100% redress, no less! No choice but to come to our capital. We will not allow a defective grant scheme or defective blocks to bid in as per the advice of Dara O'Brien. If changes to this scheme are not made now, then with due respect, it will not be just our homes that will fall. It will be the government on whose watch the Mica scandal involved. This is a legacy issue spanning at least 35 years. Where were the checks and balances? Why were quarries containing materials which caused block failure allowed to enter the chain? These materials which are simply a slow burn to block failure. We ask ourselves, why is our government resisting our demands for an investigation of this stupendous failure? Why indeed? It happened on their watch, and the buck stops with them. We intend to take this matter to Europe through the submission of a public petition, which will shine a light on to how the Mica scandal evolved in this country. We have to force our government to explain the Mica scandal in Europe, to explain the oversights and standards issues involved. Why did our government not learn from the pirate scandal? Can we be sure that we have learned now? Or could this happen again? Finally, why are the defective block manufacturers walking away? No one has any appetite to bring them to task. Not the council, not the government, not anyone. We, the people of the West, the proud people of the West, did not come to our capital to beg. We demand restorative justice, simply to have our homes restored to us on a like-for-like basis. We cannot be made the fall guys. We cannot be made the fall guys by this government for their lack of oversight, light touch regulation, and pure ineptitude. The people of the West are on fire! And we will not be appeased until we have obtained simple, natural justice!
What I'd like to do is I'd like to address some of the statements by government over the last few weeks, which I have to say are insulting and wholly disappointing to families in the West whose homes are crumbling around us. I'd like to first pick up on the point of cost. This is a point and a theme that is increasingly being used by lots of the ministers and Taoiseach himself. The idea that the state cannot possibly pick up the excessive costs of fixing our homes. Shame on you. Shame on you, our government, for putting a cost on our homes and our lives and our sanctuary and our mental and physical health. Shame on you. We did absolutely nothing wrong. The government did not. The government presided over this issue. This is the reason why this issue has come to the fore. They did not adhere to regulation. They did not adhere to their own statutory instrument from 1949. They did not adhere to EU regulation, where they were meant to monitor what happened and withdraw into the market in terms of concrete products. We will not accept this excuse. And we would ask that they do not insult us again by using this excuse. I would also like to bring up another theme that I've heard over the last number of weeks being turned out, particularly by Darragh O'Brien, when he talks about letting the scheme bear down. Let's think about that. We have had the scheme since last year. He keeps using the figure of 400 applicants as a basis for, well, it's working for a lot of people. But I spoke to people, we have all spoke to many families. Mary, who was speaking, or Mica, who was speaking a second ago, has used up her burial fund to access the scheme. We are talking to families who have begged, borrowed and stolen to get onto the scheme. I don't really think that that sounds like a successful scheme, and I don't think that 400 applicants who got in on that basis merit any consideration. They need to consider that families have got to be able to get access to the scheme. They have got to look at the issue of cost and make it a fair and equitable scheme for everybody. We deserve the same treatment as people in Dublin and people in Leinster. The people who had Pirate got a fair scheme. They deserved 100%, absolutely deserved it. We deserve the absolutely same treatment. We have been going through this nightmare for 10 years. They're asking us to continue, as Anne says, to beg on our knees for the scraps. They threw us the LPT exemption last week as if that was going to placate these people. Do you really think that placates you? You get saved €100 when you show eligibility by spending €6,000 to get onto the scheme? Are you serious? We need our government to hear loud and clear. We will not give up. We demand 100%. We will not take a scheme that is written in a way that they hide behind so that we actually in the end cost us tens and maybe hundreds of thousands to get our homes fixed. You need to sort this mess out now, government, and you need to do it right now.
My name is Barbara Dixon. I'm one of 7 admins from the North Mayo Primary Group, and I'm very proud to be here today. First of all, we want to say a huge thank you to the mighty man Paddy Dever and his team and the people of Donegal, the driving force for getting us all here today. You will always be an honorary Mayo man. Thank you to Mica Action Group for all your hard work. Thank you to Matt for all your hard work. And thank you to everyone for travelling and coming out and supporting us here. And we'd like to thank the people from Erris who worked so hard to get the scheme to Mayo and the elected representatives over the years. But we now know that this scheme is unworkable and unaffordable and is as defective as our blocks. So many people are excluded completely from even accessing this scheme. Today is the day that our government realises the West is awake and we will not be treated like second-class citizens anymore. Been stolen from us in Mayo due to government light touch or non-regulation in the manufacture of our blocks. The places affected by pyrite in Mayo so far: Ballina, Killala, Foxford, Crossmolina, Lacken, Ballycastle, Arda, Lahadon, Ballyconlon, Kilfine, Moydana, Knockmore, Strays, Brayford, Castlebar, Belmullet, towns and villages destroyed. The people of Mayo, Donegal, Clare, Sligo and Limerick have been let down by these inadequate regulations, and Clare, Sligo and Limerick don't even have a scheme. How disgraceful! We should not, and we will not, be paid for their mistakes. Make no mistake about this, it is the lack of regulation by the government at the time and the greed of the companies making the blocks that have left us homeowners in the perilous situation we find ourselves today. We are here to demand 100% redress, no less.
exempt, and where our energy upgrades. We welcome all help and support on this. We feel this is more than politics. It is a humanitarian crisis, and we are calling on all TDs to vote yes and back the motion in the Dáil later. And make no mistake, we will be watching that vote. We demand you do the right thing and support us. And just to take a quote from John O'Donoghue's poem, a home is not simply a building, it is the shelter around the intimacy of a life. To each and every person standing in front of me today, thank you, and for the continued support from Mayo. We want 100% redress for arrest!
That's what I forgot to one very important thing here. Everybody knows what's going on in the background of these videos. There's a very important man from Grandma's help to be in the background, and he's going to come out very shortly. So there's another person as well, the same man, I forgot to thank him. This man has been a mess to all this year. The man, this time next year, he's going to America doing Netflix and all over Steve again. So thanks very much. And to the Muslim man as well.
All the public buildings.
Reid, would you say a few words?
Yeah, sure. Do you want me to put me back to the crowd?
Boys and girls, on the west of Ireland, you're very welcome here this morning and today.
We might wait till he finishes.
100%
Yeah.
inside there this evening in that motion. We've guaranteed that. King Bridie Gallagher sang the home from Donegal in Old Bar about 40 years ago. We never thought that the home from Donegal would be crumbling and falling down. But I can assure you that your case will be held inside there, and we won't take no for an answer, 100% or no percent. That's what I'm very glad that it's like an All-Ireland final, and we're ever afraid of Donegal, but we'll be supporting this all the very best, and he can be rest assured of my support. Thank you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, I'm a TD from Clare. Mayo and Donegal are leading the way here today, but we have seen the flaws in your redress scheme. I put my hand through some of the cracks in your homes. The redress schemes you have come up well short. We're coming behind you in Clare. We've always had a saying in Clare we never really liked with Tipperary lead, but certainly it's Mayo and Donegal are leading this one. There's a redress scheme here for County Clare. There's unanimous support politically for that in Clare. We will be following you. We've seen how your houses are crumbling. We will do everything we have, because what's happening in Killybegs is the very same as what's happening to this man's home in Kilkishen. The last thing I will say is that some of the block manufacturers who put into your driveways and dumped off blocks, they are still trading very healthily in Clare. They're still trading very healthily throughout Ireland. They have a major role, not just a taxpayer. They too have a major role in terms of redress.
Hello there. My name is Michael Doherty, and I'm the PRO of the Mica Action Group in Donegal. The Mica Action Group has been for a decade now trying to fight the corner for Donegal people, because at that point in time we thought we were only dealing with Donegal problem. But becoming increasingly evident as we're dealing with a problem across the entire west coast of Ireland, and who knows from beyond. So we absolutely welcome everybody from Limerick, Mayo, Clare, Sligo, and wherever else you believe you may be sharing in the pain that we've gone through for the last 10 years. I'd also like to say that up front, probably the last time I seen this from a crowd was 2012, when we were singing and chanting Donegal winning matches. Well, today I would have to say Paddy Devers won in hearts and minds all over the country. I've gone up and down this road on too many occasions to Leinster House, along with Anne, along with Eileen and other members and previous members of the Mica Action Group. And we went up the road with a smile thinking, this is the time. Well, I can tell you now, we're going up the road this time and we're demanding that this is the time. For far too long, we've been given half promises, and even as late as the weekend, we've had correspondence from our Minister, Darrell Green, our Housing Minister, to say he wants to set up a committee, and he wants representatives from Donegal and other affected counties, along with county officials, along with department officials. Well, that's okay if we never turn down a meeting yet. But what we'll not be doing, we'll not be going to Dublin to any committee meeting to pick over the bones of what has already failed miserably on the ground. What we need is 100%, and if you're not going to talk 100%, shut up. We've other issues over and above the 100%, which is obviously about the affordability scheme. We have repaired homes that they are putting in front of our nose as an acceptable solution that a homeowner is also contributing massively to as the scheme stands right now. But they've cynically put a clause in there that said one home, one scheme. So if you get your outer leaf done, because that was the recommendation of the so-called experts, including the engineers which are leading the scheme, then and you're in a situation with inside walls starting to crumble in 5 or 10 years' time. You can't even reapply to the scheme. They put in a clause that says one home, one scheme. How cruel was that? How cruel was that? Where we are today is not only do we want that clause removed, we want a state-backed guarantee that when we do anything less than a demolish and rebuild, that the state will stand over that home. But only then is that home worth anything. Put it in the market, it might have some chance of meeting market value. The lenders might be interested in lending against it. The insurance companies might be interested in insuring against it. The homeowner might be sleeping in bed, not worrying about what's happening 5 or 10 years down the road. Shame on anybody that put that clause in there deliberately to IS 465. Terrible. I stopped road down the road, what have we left of? What I will say, I did meet with Mica Martin. He did come, and unfairness, and I know there's controversy around it and all the rest, but he did come, and he visited a homeowner, and he saw for himself the blocks that we're living with. And he tapped the block itself, and did that twice. He had the gravel, and you could see how it just went from a block to gravel in your hand. And the point was made to him that there's people living in that house, them kids, and that husband and wife that you've just seen are living under that roof that's been supported by them blocks. They're living under bison slabs, which are hundreds of tons of concrete, supported by them blocks. And you think you can still sit down here and wonder what it is you need to go and do about it? We've been telling you for years what it is you need to go and do. Just go and do it. Thank you everybody, once again, for taking the day off and getting the government and making it good. Thank you very much.
So we've just finished the rally here at the Convention Centre and we're going to march to Leinster House to Dáil Éireann. It's an amazing atmosphere with, I reckon, the guts of 10,000 people here, mostly from Donegal, some from Mayo, some from Clare, but it's been a wonderful rally and it's very uplifting to see the determination of people to get justice on this issue. They're looking for 100% compensation plus the fees paid for assessment for their homes. And, you have to think about it. We bailed out the banks about 12 years ago, a decision that was taken overnight to take 64 billion out of the coffers of this country. They can bail out the people now and it will cost a fraction, a tiny fraction of what the banks got. It's only right and we're with them 1,000%.
What do we want?
I'm sure my big face looks
Brilliant. Look, we're getting the word out.
When do we want it? What do we want? When do we want it? Keep it going. What do we want? 100%. When do we want it? What do we want? 100%. When do we want it? Who's from Donegal? Who's from Mayo? County Clare? Sligo? What do we want?
Okay, great. Probably gone.
He was.
Yeah, I
But
saw
I think he's come back.